Hey guys, hope you're all having a great week of training. I know Game of Thrones is starting this week, so please no spoilers. So this week I'm going to be talking about dealing with frustration in your training, in your rolling. But before that, let's get into some training. Boom. I'm recording the sound from the music. All right, guys. So again, we're going to be talking about dealing with frustration during your training or your rolling, more specifically. And as an instructor, I see a lot of students frustrated, mostly at themselves. And usually they'll take it out on the mat. They'll, boom, slap the mat and make some sounds. So I just kind of wanted to address that because I haven't really seen anybody talk about stuff like that. But I'm sure everyone goes through frustration. I know I have personally. During your journey, during your practice, you're going to be frustrated, especially starting out. You know, white belt and blue belts. You're just going to be frustrated because your technique's not there yet. You don't have the technique, and when you're rolling, you're going to be going against people that are better than yourself, and you just you're going to have that question of what do I do? How can I do better? So it's going to be really easy to beat yourself up, especially at those lower belts. So I'm gonna just go through a few different things I think will help you guys. And this goes for all belts, not just, white belts and blue belts, but every belt can learn from this. So a really important one and really big one that I like, I use every day when I'm training is to set small goals for my training sessions. So of course, before I start, it's good to have flow rolls and just be relaxed sometimes. Sometimes that's exactly what you need to do. But if you want to improve, you need to have some kind of set goal for your training. For instance, hey, I want to work on my guard, my sweeps from guard. So it doesn't matter if I get past today. I'm just going to keep trying to work my sweep from this guard today. And then you're gonna feel so much better when you have that goal in mind for your rolls versus just kind of freestyling it. I think it's gonna lessen your frustration because you know that even if you don't achieve your goal that day, that you're gonna make progress eventually. You're gonna see the improvement in your guard or your passing or your defense. So always try to set some small goals. When you're rolling, especially new people, you're not going to have a lot of technique, so just focus on utilizing whatever moves you've learned at that point. So if you've only learned how to pass the close guard, that's going to be your goal for a few weeks or few months. Hey, I'm just going to pass. Whenever I get in close guard, I'm going to pass it. That's my only focus, and it's just going to make you better. And it's really important that you can compartmentalize your jiu-jitsu. Okay, and just being able to be good in all the areas eventually. But you got to start somewhere. So just set those small goals, and they don't have to be big goals, guys. You don't have to beat the black belt in class right off, from day one. Maybe you can a goal could be not tapping out as many times as you did last week or last training session. That's a really good goal for white belts. Or maybe you're a blue belt and you want to maybe recompose your guard more. That could be your goal. Every time a person tries to pass, you're going to recompose and get your guard back. So try to set those small goals, try to enact them, and work on progressing. So my next step is, and this is some gold right here, guys. Focus on the positives in your training. Okay, let that settle for a second. Focus on the positives, the positive things that occur that you do in your training. So many times I see people, they just focus on the negative things, the bad things, the mistakes they made. And, that's just no fun way to live your life, no fun way to train. So instead, focus on the good things that you do. And of course, reflect on the things that maybe didn't go so well. But don't learn from those mistakes and then move on. And just focus on where you're doing really well. Okay, and that's how you keep training jiu-jitsu for a long time. Because if you just focus on all your mistakes, man, the practice is not going to be fun, and it's not going to lead to a positive place for you. So always try to stay positive and focus on what you're doing really well, and improve upon those things you're doing really well. And the things you aren't doing too well at, improve upon them too. So that's more mindset. And that's man, that's some gold right there, guys. That mindset, and luckily that's something you can train yourself to get better at. You want to take yourself from a negative mindset and focus on the positives, because it's so easy to focus on the negative in the world and in your training, but it's harder to focus on the positive things. So especially as an instructor, whenever I'm teaching or helping, I always try to focus on what the students are doing really well, and I will say, hey man, you're doing really well. Good job, good work. Or if maybe some details are missing on something, I'll go, hey, let's make this move better. So I always try to come from a place of positivity, and I don't even do any negative stuff. I hope not. So always focus on the positives, and that's going to help motivate yourself to keep training, keep improving. That's what jiu-jitsu is all about. To keep this consistency and keep improving. And then my last step, there's a lot more steps, but the next step is get feedback. Get feedback. So, for instance, I had a white belt, he trained. Okay, he was training, and then after training, I saw him. He looked kind of down, and man, he just was so frustrated. Once I talked to him, even he acknowledged that he was so frustrated during his performance, and I mean, and he was just so down on himself and so upset, about how he did. But I was actually watching him train, and he actually did a lot of really good stuff. Of course he had some little details missing. He's a white belt. Of course there's details missing, but man, I could see like man, he's progressing. He's doing well. But if he just stayed, so focused on himself, so just focused on his training, that he couldn't see what he was doing really well. He could only focus on what he was doing not so well. But if he talked to me, I'm the instructor, and I'm like, man, you did really well. I was like, man, I was proud. He did like one move I showed him maybe last week, and he did it, and I was like, man, that was pretty badass. So guys, try to get feedback. It's really easy to down yourself, but if you have like a good circle of friends, or you have an instructor that can help you, just try to use those people. Don't use them, but try to get feedback from those people to help improve your jiu-jitsu, because maybe they'll see something that you can't see yourself, or maybe you're too like you got too much tunnel vision where you're just like, oh, I did this really badly, but then you're missing all the stuff you did really well. So try to get feedback from others, because that's going to keep you honest, keep you true, and that's why rolling's so important. And in other martial arts, they just do like katas and forms, but they never get to experience like how to utilize those techniques, or they never use them against someone that's really trying to fight them or put them in a bad position. But in jiu-jitsu, you're gonna be rolling, and people are trying to beat you, and that's your feedback too. So try to get more feedback, guys. Me personally, my students can always come and talk to me, or hit me up online through Messenger or WhatsApp or whatever apps out there, or my friends too. So try to reach out to your instructors, or maybe some higher belts. And there are a lot of guys, girls out there they're going to be willing to help you. If they see like you really want to improve, they'll be willing to help you. They're not going to just be like, screw you, you're a white belt. So try to get more feedback, and just realize that frustration is a natural human emotion, feeling, and you're always gonna be frustrated at some point. Maybe you're a black belt and you go with like the tough purple belt and he's giving you a hard time. But I think the key to dealing with frustration is to acknowledge it. I'm a little frustrated, but don't give in to it. And you gotta let it go, man. Like frustration, it's very fleeting. So don't let it control you. Don't let it make you make any big changes in your life. So try to figure out what's causing the frustration and what you can do to fix it, or make it better, make it go away. So always come from like the mindset of finding solutions, being positive, trying to improve. And I think that's a really big key of doing jiu-jitsu for a long time. If you want to do it for a few decades, or forever, you just gotta don't let the frustration control you, okay? And just let it go, man. There's so much. There's not so much time in life that you can just waste being frustrated. That sounds terrible. Why would you want to waste your time, waste your life being frustrated? So again, look for solutions. What's causing the frustration? Try to figure out how to, stop it, or whatever. Set small goals. Focus on being positive. Focus on what you do really well, not what you do not so well. And try to learn from your mistakes, but then let the mistakes go once you've learned from them. And then, of course, get feedback. That's important. All right, guys. So if you guys like this video, please give me a like, boom. And of course, subscribe for more cool videos. Till next time, guys. Ciao. Peace.